Hello, I'm Donna Coulling and I'm a celebrity PA, and I'm here for this week's Twitter chat. The day after Valentine's Day, which is affectionately known as the 15th of February. Yeah, so happy 15th of February. And being that it's Love Week, I thought I would chat about how to keep the passion alive in your working relationship and your working relationships, those around you. So a little brief potted history of me. I am a celebrity PA and I have 5 clients. I work for 4 actors: Helena Bonham Carter, Rachel Weisz, Sir Derek Jacobi and Sam West. I also work for the artist Harlan Miller. I also have an 11-year-old daughter, the Minx. As you might guess from the background, I was trying to choose a less cluttered background, but it's very difficult in our house. So you'll see some artwork behind me, available for sale at the right price. I'm also, I do a bit of telly presenting. I pop up in the middle of the night on your TV, sometimes trying to sell you things. You might see me on some ads and some infomercials. And I also write. I have a little PA book called The Celebrity PA Secrets. No, it's not. It's called The Chamber of Celebrity PA Secrets. I also speak at conferences internationally and just other stuff, because that's how I keep my passion alive, by doing lots of different things. So to start with, I think it's important to know why you're doing the job that you're doing. I'm going to take off this bracelet because it's a bit clangy. Important to know the job that you are doing. When I discovered my job, or made up my job, as I mostly tell people, I was working in an office. I'd worked in a few offices. Well, I trained as an actor and I worked as an actor. I still might work as an actor. And then I had to get a job because the acting career wasn't taking off as well as I'd hoped as a 20 blah something person. So I had a variety of jobs. The first one was working in an actor's agency. Being an actor, I kind of knew how the system worked, but then I had to learn from the other side, which was pretty much a foundation course in office management and dealing with office relationships, which I found quite tricky. One person in particular was very tricky, and the mood of the day was determined by the mood that she would come into the office with, which was very hard if it was a rough day. And I just put that down to, well, this is what it must be like working in an office, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. And I'd spend most lunchtimes crying, which I now realise is not how offices are run at all. And I stayed there for 3.5 years, and I learnt loads, and I loved the job. I really did love the job, and I had so much to do, and so much to learn, that it was brilliant. I had a real it was like a crash course for me in learning about what clients required, what employers required when they were employing a client, plus the interpersonal relationships, and basic IT, office management, making tea, kicking the photocopier, trying to coax the printer into coming back to life. All of those things that we do and I do on a regular day. Frankly, I left there and I went to a film company, and I didn't research the role properly. That definitely wasn't for me. It was mostly, I was working for film executive producers, which entailed filling out spreadsheets and taking dictation, of which I had done none. So it just meant me scribbling things down really fast and then sitting down at my desk going, does anybody know what this might say? With my doctor's handwriting. And I left there, and then I went into the West End and worked as a production secretary on The Graduate, which was on at the time. This also wasn't a brilliant job for me because I didn't have a lot to do in the office, and I'm very proactive and I'm very fast in the way that I work. So if you give me a task, I plough straight into it because I enjoy getting my teeth into something, and when it's done, I wait for the next task, and they weren't forthcoming as quickly as I might have liked. So I just thought, what am I going to do? I can't do this. This is not suited to me and the way that I work. So I discovered that there was this role of celebrity PA, which I pursued instantly. Actually, I just sent out 12 letters to 12 agents, actors agents, and the first one landed on Helena's agent's desk, and Helena's assistant at that time was looking to move on. So we met, and then I met Helena, and it will be 17 years in May. And I didn't know what to expect at all, but I knew that working in an office environment was not for me. Working 9 till 5, 10 till 6, waiting for things to happen is not the person that I am. And I have to be able to thrive on being wanted, being needed, which I think we all do, don't we? So I needed to find something that would suit me. So I got my first client, which was Helena. However, this was only for 2 afternoons a week. So then I needed to find another client very quickly to fill more of my time. And this I did. I built it up, not as quickly as this conversation sounds like. There were times in between where I did have big gaps, and I got an office job, another agency, which I worked in 1 day a week until I filled that time with another client. So it's for me, I think I have an actor's mentality in that I'll always work. I just may not earn as much money as I would like. But, I was a waiter. I will go back to Pizza Express. I love pizza. I'll work in Starbucks, whatever it is, I'm going to drink this. I will do it because I know that I can earn money. For me, keeping the passion alive in my working relationships is to do with constantly being challenged. I have 5 clients, and every day is completely different. Some days I'm sitting in waiting for BT. We've all been there. So that's pretty much a dead day, even though I can find other stuff to do. There's always social media to waste hours on, let's face it. But there are days like that, which is a bit frustrating, but someone's got to sit there and wait for them to turn up sometime. Yet there are other days where there are so many things being thrown at me, I'm not quite sure what to do first and what to prioritize, what my client needs me to prioritize. I love that though. I love being busy, but I also enjoy the downtime. And for me, keeping the passion alive is finding out exactly what you need in your working day. How do you keep that passion alive? Do you know what you want to get from your job? I'm not checking my messages. I'm just looking at my list because I did write some notes. I am a professional. So it's easy to get bogged down, to feel stuck in a rut, to feel taken for granted and feel that you're going nowhere. Maybe you've been in a job for a long time and you feel like, is this it? Is this the way it's going to be? Every day I come in, I do the same thing, the same people, the same sandwich. Is this it? For some people, yes, that is it. And that's fantastic. And I do envy those people because I wish I didn't torture myself so much sometimes for not being that person and constantly wanting to craving challenge. But I think if you do find that you're starting to not sleep at night because there's a little bit of anxiety going on, you feel stress coming into it, maybe there's been a change of environment at work, maybe there's a change in management, maybe there's a change in hours, or your desk has moved, even just small things like that make you feel a little bit out of kilt. What is that? Is that down to, can you write a list down? I'm a big list writer and I like to put everything in writing just because I find it helps me sort out my head. What is it that's made you feel uncomfortable about the environment that's changed around you? Can you adapt to that environment? Are you just being a little bit, I don't want to sit near the door because it's a bit drafty and I'm sitting near the loo and everybody walks past me and everybody looks at what I'm doing and I've got no privacy in the area that I'm working in. If that's the case, and I totally understand because I don't like to sit next to the toilet, especially on the plane. So busy and people wake you up all the time, just very irritating. So is it something that you could speak to a person above you? Can you change where you're sitting? I mean, someone's got to sit near the bathroom. Someone's got to sit near the door. But can can the office be structured in a way so that it's more fair and everybody's in the draft of the door, or everybody is in that alleyway that leads to where everybody needs to go? Is it a conversation that can be had rather than just sitting down and complaining about it? What do you want to get from this job? I mean, we've all got to pay our bills, so we all need to earn money, absolutely. But what do you want to get from it? Is it a career progression? So are there steps that you can take to lead you up to the next rung of your career ladder? Is it a stepping stone to another job? Is it just an interim? Is it a fill-in? What do you actually want to get from this job? If you feel bored, and boredom is a killer, anybody with a young child will know that you've just got to keep them distracted and you've got to keep them busy, because boredom makes kids very naughty, and it also makes grown-ups a little bit naughty as well, because that's when we start to kind of just disengage with what we're doing. So what do you want to get from your job? Write down pros and cons. What are you getting from it? Are you at a company that is going to encourage training per se? Do you want to learn new skills? What skills do you have? What skills are you missing that are not there in your PA toolkit per se? Have I said that already? Sorry, repetitive, Donna. What skills are you missing? What would you like to learn? Do you feel that you're not totally up on your PowerPoint skills, or you're not up on coding? Are you not up on, where are the gaps? And in your career progression, do you need to fill those gaps? Or is this something, you're at a company and you love it, the people are great, the management are great, everything about it is great, you've got the best sandwich shop, you've got the best coffee, the Friday night at the end of the month is everybody's in the same place, everyone's in the same pub, everything, you've got everything going for it, but you've been there a little while, and you feel, what else can I do that I can offer to this company, and also to fulfill your own creative need, to keep your own juices flowing. Perhaps you can investigate what training is on offer. Can you go to a conference? Will the company pay for it? If not, is it something that you feel is valuable enough that you would like to pay for it out of your own pocket, because going forward, this is a skill that you're going to be able to use to get a better job, to be on a better pay grade, and just to fulfill the brain matter. Really, really important. When you sit around and chat to other people, be it family members, mates, other PAs, at lunchtimes, around the coffee machine, around the pub on that Friday, are you all on the same page? Or do you talk to someone you think, I like what you're doing, I really like what you're doing, how can I do what I'm doing? Or are you that person who sits and talks to that person and goes, yeah, I could never do that because blah, blah, blah. I could never do that because you're the yes, but. There's the yes and there's the yes but. So yes, and I would like to do what you're doing, and how can I make that happen? What skills do I need that are going to excite me and make me want to go after the next step? Or are you the yes, but I could never do that because I'm too old? Yes, but I have young children. Yes, but I'm not good enough. Yes, but I don't have the skills. So are you stopping yourself from bettering yourself before you've even started? That's the worst thing you can do, isn't it? I sit down and have a conversation with myself quite regularly, mostly because no one else will talk to me, and I'm the crazy person on the tube. I'd like to say not really at this point. But no, I'm constantly challenging myself, and I'm constantly thinking, is this it? Or what do I want to do next? And that's why I do so many things. It really is, because I constantly want to know, and what can I do next? And things move at such a fast rate, as you and I both know. If you go from one job to another, you go for an interview, you've got to be one step ahead of the person that went in the door before you and the person that's coming in after you. So what else do you need? networking, massive for me. Networking is everything for me. When I started this job, I didn't know anybody. All I knew was a few actors. I don't know. Obviously, I know people. But in the business, I didn't know anybody that could help me do the best job that I can do. And I really don't see the point in doing something unless I can do the best job that I can do. So networking was my port of call. Absolutely. I had to get out there and I had to meet people. I was listening to a podcast recently. I can't remember. It was Tim Ferriss, who speaks to lots of people around the world, people who are, the top of their game. And some of them don't really relate to me, as with lots of podcasts. You pick the bits that you want to listen to. And he was talking to somebody, I can't remember who it was because I was probably running and got distracted because I had to Instagram a tree or something very important. But he was talking to somebody about networking. And, for some people, it's about the amount of people you know and where they are all over the world. And brilliant in our industry, because thanks to social media, we can connect to anybody all over the world. And we are an international unit of, we are a PA mafia. We are an international PA mafia. We can contact anybody and everybody across the world. We are all 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We're 6 degrees of pretty much anyone, because we can reach anybody via social media because we're all there to help. We're all there to support each other. All you got to do is a bit of #PA power, or, link on to Lucy and boom, you're done in seconds. It's fantastic. So the other thought is yes, you can have this network which is miles and miles wide, which is amazing. And a lot of those people in that network are an inch deep, because you're only going to go one step. Maybe you needed to contact them for something else. It's not going to be, and especially if you're across the world, it's quite hard to keep in touch with people and build a very strong relationship. But for me, it's about, which was the other point that this guy was talking about, is having your network an inch wide but a mile deep. And it really resonated with me because it is about building that relationship. It's not so much about what I can do for you, what you can do for me. And of course, there's no free lunch because somebody always wants something in return. You don't give to receive, but it is good to know that if you've helped somebody out, you know that you could tap them for a favour in the future. I mean, it's the way the world works. It's the way that we grease the wheels of industry, and it's the way it happens. So absolutely, it really resonated with me, because being in this business for nearly 17 years, this brilliant business of PA world, which I love so much because I love all the people that I meet, and we all have a story and we all have something to share, and we all have those days where it's like, they're driving me mad. They are literally driving me mad. And then you just need to know that you can speak to somebody who's also going to go, yeah, I understand. Because that's all you need. A lot of times I can speak to somebody and go, you have no idea. And they're like, oh, you're fine because you got this, that, and the other, and and you can do it from your phone, you can do it wherever you are. Yes, they can contact me wherever I am. There's no stop. And I find other people who can understand that, and they can sympathise with me, rather than some friends and family are like, it's all right for you. You're not stuck in an office from 10 till 6. No, I'm not. But I do have a huge amount of responsibility, and people who need stuff on a Friday night, a Saturday morning. And you know what? If I've had a glass of gin, because it's a Friday, not every Friday, obviously, drink carefully. But the networking thing for me is everything. It's joining associations, it's joining organisations, and that's what helps me keep the passion alive in my day-to-day work, because I know that I'm going to go to an event in the evening. I'm going to go to a venue I've not been before. I'm going to go and meet a group of people that I've not met before. I might be going to a conference the other end of the country, or in a different country, excuse me, where we all do something different and we all contribute to that. If you go to a conference, a PA conference, how many speakers are going to be there? A lot. And then there are all the other people that you're going to be interacting with throughout the day that are sitting on the same table as you, who you're going to have morning coffee with, afternoon coffee, having lunch with. It's incredible, the wealth of experience and knowledge. So if you feel that you're a little bit stuck in the mud, then, or stuck in the rut, maybe stuck in the mud's not the right adjective, then you can speak to these other people and realise what it is that you need to change. When I speak at things, and if you've seen me, you will know, you will have heard me say this before, but I was in New York one time and I walked past a church and outside was a message that said, "I'll be happy when I'm rich." And I stopped in the street and it slapped me in the face, because it means, I mean, it's a heavy message. It means so much. I'll be happy when I'm rich. Some people, it will mean when they are financially stable or ridiculously financially wealthy. And yeah, I mean, I do the lottery every now and again, but not very often. And when I do it, I kind of feel that I should win, because I do it very, very, very often. So by the law of averages, surely it's my turn. Doesn't work like that though, does it? Because it's the lottery. However, another way that I'm happy that I'm rich is because I had this amazing job where I work for incredible people who I respect in the work that they do, and they respect me in the work that I do, which has to happen in any relationship. There's communication. Sometimes there can be a little bit of a breakdown or a misinterpretation of a message. We all do that. We're all human. You get a text message from somebody and you're like, "Oh, that's a little bit snippy." But you know that you sometimes send the same and it's not snippy at all. It's because you're jumping in the car or you've got a phone call or something like that. It's not to be interpreted as it was sent, even though you might think that you've sent something fine. Communication, respect. There's got to be the work-life integration, where I don't work 10 till 6, but I do feel as though I work a lot of the time. When somebody needs something, I like to respond because I'm very quick. I'm very fast in my job, and also I don't want it lingering, hanging over me. I work for several people, so I know that that's got to. It's all got to balance somehow. Sometimes more tricky than others, but that all depends what's going on at the time of year. You know, a client might be working on a movie. They might be in a different time zone. There might be an award ceremony and they need a frock at the drop of a hat, or a hat at the drop of a frock. But that's what keeps my passion alive. That's when I call in my network, and that's when I have people that will help me try and make things happen. And I'm happy because I feel rich, because I have that wealth of contacts around me. I'm rich because of the relationships that I've built, my network, the ones that are in my inch wide but a mile deep. And there are lots and lots and lots of you who I know that I can call on at any time, and vice versa. They can all call me. Yet there's also that network of people that are miles and miles, I don't know why they've just dropped off my table, that network that are miles and miles apart, but are only an inch deep, and that's okay, because some of those we will develop as time goes on. I'm rich because of that. I'm rich because I get asked a lot, but what are the perks of your job? Do you get given lots of presents? No. I do get presents sometimes, Christmas, birthdays, but the perks of my job are working for people who I think are incredible and are extremely kind and generous in their nature with me, and have respect either way. If you're working in an environment where you're not respected and you feel as though you are being taken for granted and you are feeling stuck in a rut, what are you going to do about it? You can't just stay there, or maybe you can, but you can't complain about it if you are going to stay there. You might only have a few years off retirement, so it's worth staying there to get your pension. I completely understand. But if you're not, you've got to sit down and think, what is going to bring the passion back into my working life, into my working relationships? Do I need to train? Do I need to create more skills in my skill set? Do I need to ask if I can go on that conference? Is there a training event? If your company can't support you financially for an event or a conference, just Google PA networks wherever you are. Wherever you are in the world, there are PA networks. And if you live somewhere really remote, like the moon, and you can get Wi-Fi, then there are online, social media. Get on Twitter, get on LinkedIn. Maybe there are Facebook groups, but definitely on LinkedIn, there are various forums that you can join. There's always a network that you can be part of. Create an internal network at the company that you're at, because you need someone to bounce ideas off. I find, for me as well, it's useful to have somebody that I'm accountable to. I have a great friend who's extremely supportive in everything that I'm doing, all my endeavours. And I'm the sort of person that they will say to, well, just do it. And I'll go, I can't do that. I can't. Why can't you do it? Because I can't, because I've got a kid and I've got the 5 clients and I can't do the thing. You can do it. If you want to do it, you'll make it happen. And I sit there and I do the yes, but I can't because I can't. And then I'll sit down and I'll absorb it. And then I'll figure it out. And it's like, yeah, I can do it. If I want to do it, I can make it work. I'll figure out a way, and you will figure out a way too. But you've got to find out what you want to do. Don't be stuck in a rut. Don't be unhappy. Don't be bullied. That's a whole different story. Don't be in an unhappy environment. Don't be that person. I was listening to the radio the other day driving up to pick up my daughter from school, and there was that song, "Don't Steal My Sunshine," and I was like, "Don't steal my sunshine." It's like, absolutely. I don't know if that song is meant to, I haven't looked up the rest of the lyrics because I only know that line. But you know those people there are people that you think, oh God, I have to see them. I haven't seen them for 2 years and I have to see them. Or, and you know there's a reason that you haven't seen that person for 2 years because they steal your sunshine. They are the energy vampires. And none of us, lipstick, need to be surrounded by the people who steal our sunshine. If you've got to keep shining wherever you are, whatever you do, people buy into that. You may go for a job interview and you might not have all the skills that the person before went in with and the person after goes in with. But you've got that positivity, you've got that sunshine and that passion for the job. And you will get hired for being you. I am that person because I went into my job with no skills. Apart from, I learnt to type once when I was out of work actor. I'm very positive. I leave my baggage at the door. You will rarely see, I mean, obviously I'm human and life goes up and down like this. And there are some days, when things are tricky. But I would say 95% of the time that stuff will be at the door and nobody will know what's going on in my life because I'll share that with somebody that I want to share with. I don't need to bring it to work. And I don't need other people to bring theirs to work either. I'm extremely sympathetic. And if you've got a problem, I'm more than happy to go for coffee and let's chat it. Let's chat it over and let's try and figure out this problem between us. And we're PAs, so we can solve anything because we're private detectives and we've got this massive network. So if you can't solve it for me and I can't solve it for you, we will know somebody who can help us get out of that hole. I think that's all I've got to say because anybody that knows me knows that I could sit here for hours. I've got my tea. Love tea, Pucker Love. I'm not sponsored by Pucker Love, but it just felt appropriate being February the 15th. Obviously, there's not a mantelpiece full of cards there because this may have been pre-recorded. Had it been live on the 15th, so full back there, so full, it would be a fire hazard. keep that passion alive. And if you haven't got the passion, sit down and think why and what you're going to do about it. Tweet me, tell me, ask me. I'll meet you for coffee. I'll figure it out for you. Happy February 15th. See y'all soon.